This is the helix coil spring, which we are going to draw now, and it shows the top view of the coil spring. This is the top part where it stops. You must draw the front view, which is in this section over here, and then you need to draw it with a left-handed turn. A left-handed means that it's going to be clockwise. So I'm just going to write there clockwise. There's a pitch of 60, so I just want to write in this information. There's a pitch of 60, and they want a turn and a half, so it's going to be 60, which is one turn, plus a half is 30, and that's going to give you 90. And then you know for every pitch, which is 60, there's going to be 12 spacing plus the 30, which is 6, and that's going to be 18. And then you're going to divide that. It's going to give you 5 millimeter spacings to be able to show how the coil spring actually moves from bottom for 1.5 revolutions up. You must show all the constructions, and there's no need for the hidden detail to be shown in the drawing. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is take my set square. So what you need to understand is this is actually a circle that here. It's a coil means that it's a circular shape, and that's why we're working only with the center lines. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to divide my circle into the various 12 slots through the midpoint, like that. So that would be 60 and 30. And I flip my set square around through the midpoint there. So now I have 12 points, and I want to label them, but I'm not going to work with either the outside or the inside circle, but I'm actually going to work with the center, because I'm going to have circles around it to show. So that there is going to be the first point, and that there is going to be the last point. And then I'm going to have these points here on my center line of my circle. And obviously the points are mirror imaged at the top, so I don't need to point these out, because that would work in tandem. These two would work in tandem. Okay. Then, learners, what I am going to do though is that I'm going to project these points down. So there's the one, both on the outside first, and then I'm doing all the inside points here, down, the midpoint, and the two in between it. Right, like that. I just want to make sure that this is 100% straight. Redo that one. Okay, let's do it again. Here we go, and that one over there. So I'm going to create a little start, so maybe I should start over there. There's my start, and then I know from here right up I need to have 18 spaces, of which I should have 5 millimeter gaps. So 5 times 18 gives us a perfect 90. I'm going to do it perfectly on the halfway mark, and I'm going to start with 5. I want you to understand it's 5 millimeters, and then 10, and then 15, and so I'm going to carry on and do all of those very quickly. Right, let's do that. So there I've created my 5, and I went up to 90, and you can count here that I actually have 18 spaces of 5 millimeters each. And what I've done, I've drawn lines across like that, parallel for the 18 spaces. So now I'm going to plot. What they want is that they want to start, very important here, where's the start? The start at the bottom left. So bottom on my left hand side here. So that's my first plot over there. Second, so you're going to carry on with your plotting. Now I like to plot halfway and then just draw a line like that. But in this case I don't even need to do that because I'm going to be working with circles and I'm going to draw a circle around each of those. So one up every time. Clearly the midpoint, this is the midpoint of every circle. If you see how I'm going to do it next. Right? And obviously when you go like that, that is one turn there and a half a turn will end over there. Right? Okay, I hope we are clear on that. So now that I've plotted, I'm going to take this size here, which is 20, and I'm going to look for a 20 millimeter circle because that's my 20 millimeter circle, and I'm going to draw a circle around each one of these particular midpoints. So I'm going to perfectly, that's my midpoint there, I'm going to perfectly align, and I'm going to start drawing that there, and I'm going to move to my next midpoint, which is there, and it's going to overlap, which is fine. Just make sure that each point forms the midpoint of the circle, and then that's going to be my third point that I'm going to be drawing there, and so I can proceed with all my circles right up like that until it gets there. So let us do that quickly. Here I can see, or you can see that I'm actually finishing off my circles there like that. Okay, so if you look at the turn, it's going to be left-handed, which is clockwise, which means that it's going to go like that around. So from here, it's going to go that way around. So I'm going to be able to see the circle here. So I'm going to darken the circle, right, and then I'm going to add hatching to that particular circle, and I'm going to darken the circle here. The top, those two circles will face me and I look at it. So I'm going to take my 45-degree set square and I'm going to darken that by hatching that start circle, and I'm going to hatch that circle over there as well, just like that. Perfect. Now I'm going to draw lines touching the circumference of all my circles till there, both sides, and it curves like that, so you just draw, and then I'm going to take it down like that as well, faintly, till that mark point there, and then you go this way. It's like a little sketch activity which you are doing. So there we go. But please make sure that you just shave along the circumference of all the circles that you have there, making this shape nice and round. And then once you have that, I want you to darken that for me. Right, so you go over it and you darken that neatly. Go right down, so there, and then right down, so there. Okay, curves nicely there. Then you go and do the other side as well, very neatly over the faint lines that you've drawn, so in that corner point there. Okay, almost done. Now remember, this goes like that and in front. So when that goes in front, you need to show the effect that this actually goes in front. So this line is going to be drawn slightly down like that, okay, to show that this curls in front, that curls at the back. So that's the effect that you will see, that this actually turns in a clockwise direction. And then when that goes down, this one goes up like that there. Okay, so you take it like halfway in there like that, and you will see the effect of it. Great stuff. That's all I need you to do for me to be able to draw the coil spring. Enjoy.